Hello everyone, hi, this is Maru-chan. I believe it's 11:16 p.m. on the 22nd of June, minus UTC time, and welcome to the Maru-chan podcast. So this is the afterthoughts, yes, one day before the actual podcast started for Tekken. I played the game yesterday and I beat it almost right away. I was going to do the podcast that same day, but I was like, wait, no, I should just wait a little. I'm still going to be playing it the next few days, but yeah, today is it's going to be a Monday or a Saturday for you guys. So I hope you guys are enjoying this throughout your weekend. And yeah, so this is the podcast where you guys get to listen to my before and after thoughts of playing a game. I usually post a video before I play and a video after I play, and I hope you guys are enjoying it. Well, not just video, audio, so you know the people in the podcast sector can hear it. So yeah, before I get into Tekken, I just want to let you guys know that you guys can find me on all sorts of platforms like Twitch, Twitter, any single platform that you guys can find me on. It's there, and also through my podcast platforms, which are like Anchor and Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, etc. There are so many that you guys can find me on. So I hope that you guys get to enjoy and that you guys listen to me on everything. Alrighty, so yeah, today is Tekken, and yeah, I picked this game because I knew it was gonna be fun, and oh my gosh, there's a lot of things I gotta say. Not really, this is gonna be a very short podcast compared to the other ones. It's a fighting game, so you don't got much story to talk about. You don't got like all these crazy things, right? So it's gonna be short and it's gonna be delicious. So I hope you guys enjoy. All right. So the first thing that I just want to talk about is the beginning of the game. It starts out like a classic. It's totally a classic. It starts out you playing Arcadia or whatever that, not Arcadia. It's like crap, I forgot. It's the game where you shoot little aliens, right? And you're like a little 8-bit spaceship and you're shooting stuff. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. And that's how the game starts. And then you can play it and you can press start whenever you like. And that's when the Cgi Cutscenes start coming in. Although they are extremely outdated. They're actually very, very outdated. Yeah, that you probably will watch them and be like, wow, it looks like a second grader made this. But at that time, 1994, actually before that, because you know the game was released on 1994, but it was developed, I'm sure, way before that, right? And yeah, wow, they look so weird. I'll tell you guys more about it in a second. But then not only that, but the game like HUD and everything is extremely simple. The character select screen was very bare bones. It's like it kind of looks like the WWE character select screen for in the Nintendo 64. I don't know if you guys ever played that, but it looks that simple, or even worse. But yeah, this game was released way before the Nintendo 64 even came out. Anyway, so yeah, not only that, but you know when you're about to go inside a fight, when it shows like their names and stuff, it's just like a gradient background, like a green and orange gradient background that just shows their name. It's really, really simple. It's like, wow. But yeah, that's how it started. Anyway, I did I guess you could say beat the game, because I did play with every single character. But I'm only gonna talk about the first 3 that I played with, which are Michelle, Kasuya, and Paul. Now, I did get to experience fighting every character, like the other 8 unlockable characters, being, what's his name? Kanemitsu and like Heihachi and Lee. No, Lee's not one of them, but it's like a bunch of other characters that you wouldn't really see in your character select screen. And I did beat it, so I do want to let you guys know I did. It's 100%. And it was the dumbest thing, because in this game, I just want to let you guys know it tricks you so bad. You play the game, you think it's pretty normal, and then it just starts kicking your butt immensely. But there is one drawback that I have to say. I did have it in ultra hard, which is like the hardest game mode. That's how I started, and I later put it to hard because it was just getting out of control. And I'll let you guys know a little bit more about that in a minute. So, yeah, this game, it only has like 2 game modes. You can only do arcade, which is single player, and you can also do 2-player mode, which obviously you can play with another person. And yeah, that's really all there is to it. This game is very, very, it's very simple, and you don't have much. It's kind of like the first Virtual Fighter. There's not much to it besides just, hey, put you in a field, fight, done. That's the game. But that's the whole part of the gameplay. It's actually really good, although there's a lot of stuff that's broken. So let me tell you how the Michelle playthrough went. I started as Michelle, and I first fought Paul, which was a very easy fight. It was nothing to like really write home about. Then afterwards, I started fighting Law. He didn't stand a chance to me. He was pretty easy. Then Jack came up, and he was also very easy to beat, which later on, all of these characters, which I'm naming, end up becoming really difficult to beat. I don't know why the difficulty just ramped up out of nowhere. And this is where it starts. Kasuya. He started actually beating me like 2 or 3 or 5 times. And he was not difficult, but he had a lot of different strategies. Like that's when I started seeing different strategies. Like sometimes he would poke me by using like his long kicks. And sometimes he would just get me in this really long combo, and he would beat me like a bunch of times. So he always would back up perfectly and space his kicks like no other. And when he would get close to me, he would just start kicking me. But what I liked about my character, Michelle, actually the best character to me in the game, she basically like, she can do this very easy combo. You don't have to really work hard for it. You just kind of like press the X button, because I was using an Xbox controller, and it kind of does the combo for you. You know, it's easy. It's very bare bones. Anyway, I went ahead and did this combo, which actually helped me get through her whole playthrough. And yeah, so it was pretty easy for the most part for her when I played with her. But for the rest, it was just wow. It was way too much. Anyway, yeah. So I started fighting Kasuya, and he was doing all of these things. And yeah, eventually I was able to get him with being able to use several combos. Because you have to be careful that he doesn't jab block you. He can jab block you very well. But yeah, after like 5 tries, I beat him, and I had to strategize by like using more lower kicks, and maybe a little bit more combos. Like when I would use that one combo that I said, you use that, and then maybe when they fall on the floor, you can still kick them on the floor since you got a few seconds, which only applied to like a few characters when it was very easy. But later on, this didn't apply because they were getting up super fast. Like, yeah, it was just crazy. Frame data, all of that, throw it out the window because they didn't have to follow any rules. It's just they press a button and it happens like instantly. It's 0 frames for every one of their attacks. They have no end lag, they have no nothing. So that's what I'm going to be talking about, like starting from Kasuya. Now, I was fighting Nina, and she destroyed me pretty bad. She does this like thing where she like kamehamehas, but she hits you with her palms. But before that, she like combos you towards that, and then there's like this rolling combo which takes half your health, and it was pretty crazy because I was like, god dang, these are combos, which later on I learned those were nothing compared to other characters. So yeah, she could take like half your health if she wanted to, and yeah, the little palm thing that I said also took a ton. So I used a few combos with Michelle to eventually beat Nina, which is her name, the one that does the palm thing. Yeah, so eventually I got one of my combos. I mixed my moves with the lower kicks and the square combos. Well, square because that's on, you know, PlayStation controller. Square X, same shit. And yeah, so I ended up using those combos again, and I had to like be very strategic on how I kicked her. Because, you know, she really tries to roll and get them hints on you. Anyway, afterwards, Yoshimitsu. Yeah, he rolls a lot. He rolls a ton. He was spinning all over the place. I actually did get to kill him after a few times. But, you know, like at this point of the game, I started losing quite a bit with like Nina and Kasuya and Yoshimitsu. And then I went on to fight King, which it's like the... What do they call them? I said it last time. The tiger wrestlers or something like that. And yeah, he was doing some wrestling moves. He was like throwing me all over the place. I'm surprised that, yeah, it was just crazy trying to fight him. He was rolling again, jump, rolling, jump, kick, roll. It was everything. It was crazy. So yeah, I ended up fighting King, and he throws you a lot. And he has a few different like variations of it. Like he does a jump and he like flips, and then like one of them he can kick you, and the other one he can grab you, and the other one it kind of like it's a long jump but with a front flip. It's some crazy stuff. Anyways, you can hit him right before that move's about to activate. So if you become Jesus and just start hitting him right before it cancels his attack, which is a good way to like you know, space yourself out and lose less health. So yeah, you have to just kind of hit him and stop a bit, get back, let him hit you a little, and then go in again, dash and hit. So spacing is very important in this game, as you need to like dash back and dash forward a lot if you don't want to get hit, and you need to block like perfectly. And another thing that can help you is that like you can get down if you hold down, which is another it's another thing that you can do in these sort of fighting games, you know, with like one person to the left and the right. Shoto, I guess that's what people call it. And yeah, so you have to learn how to do all these things by this point, or not you're gonna get your butt kicked. Like you have to do it, and it has to be on point. And when you're losing a lot, it can be a little bit frustrating. So just be patient when you're playing this game. So he beat me a ton of times, and I finally beat him once I pulled out some like crazy combos. I don't know how, but I beat him. And I was really happy at the time because I put a lot of exclamation marks in my notes. And I can remember because this was just yesterday. It was horrible. I was so frustrated. Anyway, I was using my D-pad. I actually forgot to mention this. I was using my D-pad the whole time. You know how the Xbox controller has like the 360 controller has a little D-pad, and it's not a good D-pad like whatsoever. So I eventually went back to the thing. I changed it, and I started using my analog stick. So that was a little bit better, but it had to get some practice with it because it felt kind of weird. But it was a lot more comfortable. Anyways, we had Kanemitsu, which was next. And yeah, he played very similarly to Yoshimitsu. Actually, I think he's kind of a clone of him, kind of like an echo character of him. And yeah, so for him, it was not too hard. I lost a few times, but it wasn't that bad. And he plays very similarly. Now, I'm not saying a lot about the characters yet, right? There are a lot of characters in here, like Paul, Jack, right, Michelle, Yoshimitsu, all of them. But I haven't really talked about how they look or are. Jack is kind of like that, a big, strong guy in every game. He's not like, he's buff and all that. He actually looks deformed. His whole like waist and up looks like he, I don't know, he took so much steroids or something, and the rest of his body looks like he missed leg day. So yeah, and then you got like Michelle. She's like your really pretty cowboy girl. She has I think she even has a little holster with a gun and everything. Paul is this like Ken looking guy with like really tall hair. He kind of looks like the guy from King of Fighter. I forget his name. God damn it. How Maru? No, that's from Naruto. It's something Maru. I know that. I can promise. Anyway, then you got like Kasuya, which you guys know how he looks or should know. Yoshimitsu looks like the guy from Soul Calibur, the one that has like the really old Japanese style like clothes and the samurai the face like mask or something. And then the Koshimitsu guy, or Kanemitsu, sorry. He's exactly like Yoshimitsu, but he's like a ninja instead. He wears like a ninja clothes, and I think you guys know what that is. Heihachi, you guys know he's kind of old. He looks similar to Kasuya, etc. And yeah, you got plenty of characters that are like this. You got like a Bruce Lee kind of character. I was gonna call him Fei Long, but that's from Street Fighter. Here his name is, I believe, just Lee. And yeah, so I think that was cool. I'll tell you guys more about like their more annoying playstyles when they actually when it just amped up to a crazy amount, because it was already really difficult at this point, starting from Kasuya till I beat her mode. But then once I started using the next character, it just ramped up even more. I mean, like 10 times worse. So yeah, after fighting Yoshimitsu, or Kanemitsu, he jumps like a ton. He does this like ninja stuff, and he like his frame data is so good. He can hit you, jump out of it in like 0.00 milliseconds, and still jump back to you, and then hit you again, and then do all these crazy things. I was like, how is he doing it? But the same thing with Kasuya. When I was fighting Kasuya, he was doing all of these cool combos that I couldn't really figure it out with him. So I tried to land my hits. So I tried like dashing towards him more, and that's how I beat him. I started dashing more. So like with each of these characters, you have to use a new strategy. Some of them use more hand-to-hand combat, and others use like their legs more. So you have to kind of like mix it up. Some know how to get down, so when you like punch them, they get down instantly and like get back up and start punching you and do a combo on you. So if you're gonna play this game, you have to like start playing and practicing so you get some combos in. You need to learn how to get some combos and get that health, because when you get a chance, you're only gonna get like very few chances. So letting you know. Anyways, Heihachi was next, and I beat him in my first try. He was really easy. All he had is like, he does really strong attacks. All you have to do is shield, and he does push you back quite a bit. So, and you have to kind of make sure to dash towards him, and if he does any attack like the uppercuts or whatnot, you have to kind of like try to hit him. Do little jabs and maybe some lower kicks. That's how you can kind of get him. But if not, you have to really be careful and block a lot. And yeah, that was my playthrough with Michelle. Then we have Kasuya and Paul. I'm not really gonna talk about it all that much, and I'm just gonna go into like the really difficult things, which kind of sum up the rest of this game. So using Kasuya, I was actually not as good as I was with Michelle, and I thought I was learning to use him pretty decently because I was doing some like jab combos, but that was all. I didn't know how to do any of like the kicking combos or anything. So and his reach is so bad. He has the worst like reach in the game, I think. Even Jack, the guy that looks like the military guy, he's all jacked up and he has really long fists. Michelle, she's got the combos that like her hands turn into min-mins. It's just crazy, you know? Like some characters have really big defects, but Kasuya, I know he's a good character because he has a good combo game. I just didn't know how to use it. So I was basically, I don't know, I was doing ultra hard with Michelle, but ultra hard here actually felt like ultra hard. So yeah, his punches were very short. His kicking game was really bad. His low kicks weren't that good either, at least through my experience. All the fights here are, at least I felt, were in the same order to the first few fights, but later on they changed. So yeah, I ended up fighting Jack after a few fights, and each time you hit him, it actually sounds like you're breaking a truck or like you're breaking some sort of vehicle in a game. I don't know. I just kind of got that like vibe when I started listening to it. Also, I beat him and I beat Nina, which were pretty easy. Then, oh my god, this is the first time that I was extremely, I mean like extremely disappointed in how hard this game got. Like it just became a completely different game. So I started fighting Yoshimitsu, and by the way, it looks like he's holding a keyblade. I don't know why. He's holding a sword, but it looks like a keyblade. So yeah, that was a little bit odd to me at first. Anyway, he beat me probably around a good 20 times. Maybe 10, 20 times, I think. And he keeps doing the same triple kick combo and a few different other variations of a kick. So any single time you get close to him, he's already doing this combo, and he does 3 or 4 kicks. Then the other combos are not that long, but they still take like half your health. Basically, I had to just make sure that I got close. He kicks, but I block it, or at least block the first 2 hits, and then afterwards I like dash in and get him in a few little combos with the jabs, and then finish it off with a low kick, and that would get me around maybe 30%, and I had to do this carefully for 2 rounds. So yeah, I had to shield a ton and just punch. That's how it was. That's when I started noticing that Michelle has a lot better combos, at least through my experience, because I was fighting her and she kept doing that combo that I was using on people. So I loved using it, but I didn't love that she was doing it on me. It was kind of effed up, man. It was really hard to beat her. Anyway, I eventually got to beat her. She's extremely hard. That's when I kind of figured out I suck with Kasuya. At least that's how I felt. Then I ended up playing King, and I was able to beat him after maybe like 3 or 4 games. He wasn't too difficult. He kept doing the same thing that he was doing with Michelle, but just harder. Then afterwards, I got to the next character, which was Lee. Now, this has to be literally the most infuriating fight in the entire game for me. I beat it with every character, but this was like one of those points where I was like, wow, I don't know if I can keep playing more. And actually, I had to dump down the difficulty starting here after this fight. So I started fighting this guy, and his AI is extremely advanced. Like, we're talking about like state of the art. We're talking about like Google came up in my house. They designed this AI to be smarter than any person in the world, and he just started wrecking my shit. Okay, this guy was doing combos that lasted literally like 10 seconds long. He would kick me over 10 times with one combo and just doing the same attack. Then he would do this punching combo that lasted once again like 10-20 seconds. Any single time I would like get the chance to somehow get close and punch him, he would duck every hit. You know, like in fighting movies, how they hit, like Jackie Chan moves around and like they hit him, but he like ducks and then gets back up, and then they try to hit him again, he ducks. That's how it was. It felt like I was playing, I don't know. It was crazy though. It was super crazy. His AI was so perfect and so on point, but also extremely spammy. Like very, very spammy. His kick basically went like 1 millisecond, and it already traveled to my face. So yeah, it's basically like he's another character. He's basically like the Bayonetta in this game. There's no frame data. There's no nothing. It doesn't exist with him. He was in a different universe. He came from another game to this game and started running the beat down on me. So yeah, I decided to go down to hard to dumb it down a bit. And yeah, I finally beat him, and I beat Kasuya. Oh no, that's I guess you could say that's Heihachi. I beat Heihachi at the end, and then that was the end of Kasuya's arcade mode. I didn't even talk about Michelle's ending. So every character has an ending at the end of the game, and it's like CGI made, and they're really bad. Like, these character models look horrible, but it's okay. It's 1994, whatever, right? And yeah, so for Michelle, you see her like running towards a barn, like a house in the desert. It kind of looks like the house of Courage the Cowardly Dog. She runs there, and like there's a guy sitting down in one of those like rocking chairs in front of the house, and she like looks at the camera. I think like she winks, and then she does like a little kissing thing, and she runs towards the house, and that's her ending. So I'm gonna guess she finally went home with her lover, and goody goodies. Now for Kasuya, I basically got the ending that I was expecting, and I got to throw Heihachi off the cliff. It was great. It was like running at 2 frames per second, not because of my computer, but because of the actual game itself. And yeah, it's so bad. I might put it in the YouTube video, like his face. I might not, I don't know. So he basically like grabs him, he walks towards the cliff. Now this isn't the cliff like in the Smash trailer. It's like you're like on top of these mountains, but it's like really green. It's like very beautiful, lush mountainside, and instead of like the whole trailer where it's like a death mountain sort of vibe. And yeah, he just like throws him off, and then it pans into his face, and he does this really weird smile. It's so weird. Anyway, it was awesome. I loved it. And yeah, after playing with Kasuya, I went in with Paul. I got quick and easy. I liked his kicking combos. They were really good, and he can space very well. Well, not his spacing, but his kicks. They have a lot of range, so you can get really good kicks in. But his jab game is kind of bad. That's all I can say. But starting to play the first few matches, I already felt more comfortable than using Kasuya. So yeah, I didn't really have issues beating most of the characters. Mostly now that I had it in hard mode, not ultra hard, and also because it was just easier to use them. I remember I fought Paul. He was giving me a hard time. I mean, not Paul, Jack. And only Jack gave me a hard time, and one more character besides that. But yeah, Jack, he kept doing these like really crazy combos with his arms. He's really big. He really has no like kicking combos, since he would probably break his leg if he kicked me, since he didn't do leg day or whatever. So yeah, afterwards I fought a bear, Kuma. That's one of the characters that I mentioned that is in the game here. A freaking bear. And yeah, he is in the other games, yes. And he was the most difficult character for Paul so far at that point. And yeah, he kept doing these like scratches. He keeps grabbing you really well at the perfect times. He was just all around perfect at fighting. Then I ended up fighting Heihachi, which once again was pretty easy. And I got his Paul's final movie, which he's like first breaking glass with his arms, and then afterwards he throws a bottle in the air and kicks it, and then afterwards he breaks a brick wall inside an arena. And it's just like, what? But it's funny. It's funny. And yeah, that's basically about everything that I'm gonna talk about today, because at the end of the day, this game, I mean, it's all just fighting. I'm not gonna give you guys my experience with every single character. It was fast to beat if you have it in hard or under. There's also, I think, super hard, but I may be wrong. Maybe it's just hard and then ultra hard. But don't play this game in ultra hard if you feel like you wanna, if you're near committing suicide, beast. I feel that this will push you to that brink. Anyway, yeah, that was really it, guys, that I really want to say for this game. Besides that, I do want to say that that it is an extremely fun game to play with other people. I probably will invite my friend to play it. like in the next few days, just so I can kind of like enjoy it a little bit more. But at the end of the day, we know that these games strive on being able to be played with someone else. So if you have friends and you want to play this game, it's a good game. Now, if you're playing it for the single player experience, it's not the best. You're gonna get really frustrated when you fight like these really, really difficult CPUs. It's a classic though. It's a classic, and it feels really good to play. Like I just felt at home. The atmosphere, the graphics, everything was just so perfect. Now I did raise up the graphics a little bit because they were just looking a little bit too like hard to see, which is, you know, what a lot of games end up being. They suffer from, you know, back in the day, you know, just low res textures and whatnot. But yeah, there's the game is not so balanced. Some characters have a lot better movesets. Some characters have no frames to work with. They just attack instantly. Oh yeah, and I did want to talk about that this game, the music is really, really good. I think it's their BGMs, the sound file, and yeah, they're really good. Mostly this one stage called Chicago, USA. It's really, really nice. During the fight, it's just, you know, really active. It makes you want to just beat the opponent. Luckily, you know, I got to beat the whole game, and I didn't like, I didn't suffer from too much frustration. I did at the beginning, but not after. I put it down a little bit. Oh, and one thing that I can say, if you guys don't want to lose in this game, never roll towards the opponent. If you roll towards the opponent, you're gonna get killed. That's all. Anyways, guys, thank you guys for listening to this podcast, and thanks for watching. Once again, if you guys want to reach out to me, you guys can through any sort of the platforms that I got here, like Twitch, Twitter, YouTube's, the Anchors, the Spotify's, the Apple or Google Podcasts. They are there, and you guys can listen to me and subscribe and follow and just do the rest of the stuff that you guys want. And also Patreon, just letting you guys know. So thank you guys, and I hope that you guys have a very wonderful day. I'll see you guys on the next video or podcast or whatever, audio. See ya! Bye!